For example, wow, thank God I have one example, almost the second sentence to the last. I have one example. Thank you, Lord, for answering my praise. Hello, IELTS writers. Welcome to IELTS Juice. Let's start assessing an essay today. So the rubric says, some people think that environmental problems should be solved on a global scale, while others believe it is better to deal with them nationally. So there are two camps. One camp believes that all these environmental problems or issues must be solved internationally because they happen all around the planet and it's not bound by a certain geography, versus another camp who believes that every nation has its own government and those governments are responsible to protect the people in that nation. So that includes the environment. So it's their job to actually protect their citizens by solving environmental issues. Exactly, like the rubric dictates us to write a discussion-led essay. We discuss both camps and then we come up with our own opinion. Let's see what the writer has to say. It is argued by some that solving environmental problems is a global cooperation. It's a very good sentence section. While there are others who believe that these are international problems. That's a very good opening. I mean, it paraphrased the rubric very well. I completely know what I'm about to read. Whereas the way to facing these problems can be tackled by national standards, because some issues are more serious in some countries compared to other countries or others. I believe that addressing these issues should be considered as a global matter. Okay, so the writer believes that it's an international effort. So the writer believes in the first camp. Because of the global interaction, which I need a which here, which will happen all over the world in the future according to the issues. All right, a little too descriptive. Like this is the thesis statement, guys. This is the most important sentence of the entire essay, and it's a little long. Number one, it's a little too descriptive. It means that it describes things a little too much for me at this point. It sounds really strange when you meet someone for the first time and then they start talking about their family and their tradition and what their family of, I don't know, his brother-in-law does differently than his family. You didn't ask for such information, and yet this guy is giving you, I mean, without you asking, this guy is just giving information to you, and it looks weird. Like, yeah, thank you. Do I need to know these things? I mean, we just met. I didn't know you had a brother-in-law. I didn't know you have such traditions, and like right off the bat. Can I just first, I don't know, let's find a seat at least, and let's sit down and then also discuss why we are talking to each other here. And then we can get into detail and see whose family does what and things like that. But anyway, I'm just joking. Of course, in your culture is different. In English-speaking cultures, it is different. I'm just giving you an example. So at the beginning, we don't need too much information. We just need an opening. And the thesis statement must be the most generic sentence of your entire essay. It's an umbrella for everything you are going to say. And this here sounds like very defensive, or the writer rushes into explaining things to me. That's not a very good sign, usually. Anyway, let's continue. What is this? Yeah. This is a sentence? That's it? Maybe it is typed incorrectly. Let me check the server, guys, 1 second. Okay, I did check the server, and actually this is exactly how the response was submitted at IELTS Juice. I don't know why the writer put a sentence like this here. This definitely brings down the coherence cohesion, because this is not logical paragraphing. Oh, weird. Maybe by mistake he or she pressed enter here. I thought at the beginning it's like that, but it's not. I mean, this is exactly how we received the response. Anyway, on the one hand, environmental issues should be resolved nationally, according to some. Correctly punctuated. So in this paragraph, we're going to talk about the first camp, the second camp, who believe that this is a national matter, and governments or the government of each nation is responsible to solve the issue. This is mainly because every country's environmental problems would be different from another country's apostrophe s, I mean, and comma here because the subject changes, and the government prefers both are acceptable at IELTS. That's just in some cases British English prefers plural verb for government. So in this case we're okay. Either method works. Government prefer to tackle. I don't need this preposition. Serious ones first. I don't need apostrophe here. To tackle serious ones first. Now is the place to tell me what you mean by serious environmental problems. I need an example. Also, give me maybe a bit more explanation on the actions that these governments can do. This strategy leads to saving national budgets. How? In the right direction. What is the right direction? How is it going to save budget? Thus, comma, the government will be able to manage other issues with the rest of the budget. Well, of course, whatever money is left, the government will spend on other matters. But why? Which matters? I see multiple explanations here, and the development is not sufficient. Maybe it's adequate, barely adequate, or maybe adequate. Depends. I need to read other sentences too. On the other hand, I like this combination. On the one hand, on the other hand. Many, myself included, I like this. You see the punctuation, guys? It's correctly punctuated. Think that these problems are global issues. Which problems? Environmental problems? We are starting a new paragraph, yet we have these references. And, you know, this just adds to the confusion. If we are starting a new paragraph, it means that we have a new message to say. So if we keep giving references to the previous paragraphs or previous sentences, then it might get really confusing. Because the interactions and connections between environmental, I love these words, guys, interaction, connection, preference, strategy, they're spelled correctly, they're used correctly, the collocations are fine. Don't get me wrong, I love those sentences. My problem in my head right now is that I am given some information, but I don't have examples. I don't know which aspect of it, how they are connected to the topic we are talking about. They are very general sentences, very generic, a little confusing because I'm struggling to make connection between the rubric and the things that I'm looking here at. Because the interactions and connections between environmental problems, so far we haven't named a single environmental problem. Drought, flood, tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquake, what other environmental pollution, air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution. We didn't come up with a single one. We just keep generalizing as all environmental problems. I still don't know. Are we talking about the extinction of sharks because they're killed for their fins, or are we talking about fracking to get oil? That's not environmentally friendly. Are we talking about lithium being used as a battery, as a resource for batteries for EVs, electric vehicles? Really, this is just environmental problems. Like, it's a huge package. Everything is inside it. Between environmental problems is obvious, and in the near future, comma, and another comma before and, we will have to change our plans according to the major problems which will occur. There are missing connectors here. This which here is mandatory, which will occur. For example, wow, thank God I have one example, almost the second sentence to the last. I have one example. Thank you, Lord, for answering my praise. For example, melting glaciers in the Antarctic, glaciers in the Antarctic will lead to rising the sea level all over the world eventually. Thank you. That's an example that this problem is going to be a global issue in the near future. That's fine. One more sentence just to, to tell me that, yes, this will have an impact on trades, on ports. So the global market, the global economy is at stake. So, I mean, just a couple of analogies after this. And the example is given to us very late, very late. In conclusion, although it is thought by some that tackling environmental issues should be considered as a national problem, I believe I and another, I'm just not alone, I and a group together, we believe that these problems are global concerns, comma. Oh, no, comma. I believe and I still believe. And all governments, no need. The subject still remains the same. All governments should take measures to address the issues. What? 241 words. It is task 2. It was supposed to be 250 words. That's an underlength error for you. That's underlength. So the development is not there. We don't have enough sentences to check the grammar, vocabulary, task response, coherence, cohesion, and well, it's not good. It's not good, guys. You see, all elements were addressed. I saw the first camp's opinion. I also saw the second camp's opinion. I saw the writer's opinion, and they were addressed and developed. I also saw the writer's opinion presented very clearly that the environmental issues must be solved globally, internationally. It was there. What wasn't there, the sufficient development of each main idea. And that's because I don't see minimum 250 words. That also affects the range of vocabulary and the range of grammar. So we don't have a wide range or a variety of grammatical structures, a wide range of vocabulary. It doesn't matter what you do. Sadly, it's an underlength error. This essay has written less than 250 words per task 2. And because of that, there isn't enough vocabulary for us. There aren't enough sentences for us to assess. And because of that, this essay lost maybe almost a score, half a score, to say the least. Make sure you write at least 150 for task 1 and 250 for task 2. This is critical. And on that note, I have nothing more to say but to wish you a lovely day ahead.